helping individuals and businesses solve their tax problems.
I was worried about my business. Wall & Associates got the IRS off my back. They got my levy released within 48 hours. They made my tax problems go away.
Call now for a free consultation. We'll meet with you in person, face-to-face, at a local office near you.
Call 615-810-8531. 615-810-8531. We solve tax problems.
Rachel Ray, nominated for 5 Daytime Emmy Awards. And next, Rachel.
Jack Bauer's going to have a bad day, that's a given.
Before you see him on 24, Kiefer Sutherland is racing against our clock answering your questions.
What's next on your bucket list?
Oh my gosh,
Then it's a Cinco de Mayo fiesta, but the party is over for one of our Great American Cookbook Competition finalists.
Whose final chapter has come to a close?
Next, Rachel.
Today at 9 on News Channel 5.
Hi, I'm Kevin Kennedy with the Kennedy Law Firm, and one of the principles that we believe in is never give in, never give out, and never give up. I'm Kevin Kennedy. When you need us, call us 931-645-9900.
Right now in Nashville, we've got a current temperature reading in the upper 50s and low 60s. Here's the viewpoint from Gallatin right now. Lebanon now at 71. 7-day forecast shows a high near 90 today, 88 tomorrow. Dry until a rain chance by Friday.
All right, that's all of our time this morning.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day today.
The best things in life come to those who search. To those who seek discoveries, both big and small. From your new favorite sushi bar to the flight lesson you never thought you'd take, Groupon makes it easy to save on the things you do every day and has thousands of deals to search for. So when you want to do anything, anywhere, anytime, check Groupon first.
This is a talk of the town. That's right.
I'm Tawanda Coleman. Prescription drug abuse is a growing trend that not only affects the drug user, but also his or her family and friends. Here to discuss prescription drug abuse is Dr. Michael Barron from The Ranch, a recovery center right here in Middle Tennessee. Welcome, doctor.
Thank you.
You know, we often have a picture in our head of what we think a drug addict looks like, but that's not always the case, is it?
No, ma'am. A drug addict is not the person under the bridge. It's the next door neighbor, it's the guy up the street, it's the physician, the lawyer, the school teacher. It looks like you and me.
And often I think people don't even feel like they have a problem. Why is it so hard for an addict to admit that they have a problem?
It's hard for anyone to admit they have any type of problem, but especially one where if they admit it, they have to make changes in their life, and that means giving up their best friend, their Lortab bottle, their prescription, their alcohol. And that's a long relationship that they rely on to wake up in the morning, to get by. So no one wants to be able to or have to give that up.
So if someone is not sure if they have a problem or not, but they think they may be going in that direction, what should they do?
Well, the old adage, if you think you have a problem, you do. But if they even have a question about if they're drinking too much or using too much prescription medicine, get help. Ask the questions. They need to, go to their doctor, to their psychiatrist, see me. Definitely. Get help.
Get help is the key word that you said right there. The key sentence, get help. Thank you so much, doctor. For more information about The Ranch, visit their website at recoveryranch.com or contact them at the number you see on the screen.
Jimmy Evans is a
responsibilities, commitments, and plans you've made. But what if you were out of the picture? Would everything you've worked so hard for be protected? Would your family be okay? Now you can ask an expert these life and death questions and give yourself some peace of mind for free. Watch a special edition of Open Line with attorney and estate planning expert Tim Takus, Tuesday night at 7 on News Channel 5+. The show that lets your voice be heard on the big issues.
Let's take a call from Frank. Hi, Frank.
MorningLine with Nick Ferris on News Channel 5+. Middle Tennessee's biggest newsmakers waiting for your call.
Let's go to Buddy. Buddy, good morning.
Don't miss the next MorningLine beginning at 8 on News Channel 5+. Network. This is MorningLine.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us on Morning Line. I'm Nick Barris. It is Monday, and I'm glad to have you with us. I do hope that you had a good weekend. And with this kind of great weather, if you have a pet, you're probably out and about with them, and it's also time, as hot as it's gotten already, to make sure, of course, as always, there's water out there for them, and make sure they have shade, because gosh, it's going to be in the 80s, upper 80s all week long. We're moving straight from winter to summer. There's a little spring in there along the way. But anyway, we're going to talk this morning about your pets and animals. We'll open up the phone lines. If you have questions or comments, the number is 737-7587 if you want to jump in. And I'm not going to answer your questions, but she is. It's Alison Fields. She's a veterinarian, which is way better than me answering the questions. Even though I think over the years I've learned quite a bit from you.
You have.
I still am stubborn on some things.
You're like a junior veterinarian.
I have. Yeah. I've learned. It's not like we have lawyers all the time. I think I could practice law.
Do they let you answer the questions?
Oh, no, I mean, sometimes they don't let me, but I do anyway, and then they'll correct me, as you do oftentimes. But anyway, the number, if you want to jump in, questions about your pets this time of year. All right, am I right about that? It seems like it's gotten warm all of a sudden, fast.
All of a sudden, we went from these like really nice 50-degree mornings to it's going to be 88 today or
upper
something.
80s today,
So yes, water is very important. Cover shade is very important. Something that they can get out of the sun. And it is going to be, this is my own Farmer's Almanac prediction, a horrible tick year.
Really? Okay, you think so?
Yes. We're already seeing ticks. My husband and I were out working we were out in West Tennessee yesterday seeing his parents, and we picked, 5 or 6 seed ticks off of him when we got home. So, yeah, it's going to be a bad tick year, I think.
A bad tick year. And again, all right, there's the Frontline, Advantage. I wish I could name them all.
Advantage does not do
That's
ticks.
what I wanted to be clear. Some do and some don't. Advantage.
Yeah, there's lots of different products. There's Frontline, there's Advantix, there's the Seresto collar, Preventic collar. There's a lot of different things. For dogs, I think there's a lot more choices than there are for cats. For cats, I tend to recommend to stay with the name brand stuff, the Frontline or the generic Frontlines. Try to stay away from pyrethrins or permethrins with cats.
Okay. Is there anything you can buy now that, and these, by the way, are the ones you kind of clip and you put on the fur above the neck, topicals. Is there anything that you can feed the pets now that it's now starting to?
There is a new product out, and this is its first year out, called NexGuard. It's made by Marielle, which are the makers of HeartGuard, and it does fleas and ticks, and it's an oral medication. I don't know how it works. I have not done research. We're not carrying it yet, so I haven't been around it, but I do know I have clients who have used it and have been happy with it.
Wow, isn't that interesting? All right, so what else do you think, or what have you seen? I'm just curious at your practice, which is very busy.
Ticks.
Well, I mean, they're coming in and they have that. People aren't bringing in their pets because of ticks. So I guess it's nothing out of the ordinary that's seasonal now. It's just garden variety stuff now.
You know, we're starting to see hot spots, which we see in the summertime. We're starting to see it at this time of year. Everybody's getting out with their pets, and you know, they're going to dog parks, and they're doing a lot more outside of their home, and so we see more dog fights and more injuries because we're more active, just like with us. You know,
well, sure, it makes sense. There's just more people out and about. Hey, would you say, and then there are some dogs that are going to be dog aggressive, and there's some dogs that are going to be more human aggressive, right? There can be a dog that's just the friendliest and would never nip at a human, but just go crazy with a dog.
Absolutely.
Right? Why is it is that just the way they're born, or is it conditioning when they were small? Being more inclined to just attack another dog than a human, or vice versa? We don't know why.
Don't know.
I guess you got to figure out which it is right off the bat, really quick, right? You don't want to be.
I think a lot of it has to do with how they're raised.
Yeah.
I really do. I think that, if you take a dog who never gets socialized with other dogs, they're probably going to have some fear. They're going to be fine with people, but they're going to have some fear when it comes to these other dogs and may, bark and attack just out of just fear.
Right.
But I think that dogs that are well socialized, both with other dogs and with people, typically do well. Not saying always.
Okay, typically do. I was going to say, by the way, again, just to hit it again, because I'm so amazed, our Beagle, since we put him on the thyroid medicine, just fluffiest tail.
amazing.
He had lost all his hair, was grumpy, bloated stomach, joints hurt. Seemed like he was like a 10-year-old beagle when he's only 3. You put him on this thyroid medicine, which is an inexpensive pill.
It is.
And you give it to him every day, once in the morning, once at night. All the fur's back, his joints are comfortable, his stomach swelling's down. If you have a dog that's suffering from some of this, it can be a very basic
It's amazing
thing.
how much your thyroid does for you.
Oh my gosh, stunning. And the same thing with humans, right? To some degree. And my only regret is it took us that long kind of to figure it out. The poor fella, you'd lost some of the hair.
Because that's not a typical disease of younger animals.
Yeah.
It's a typical disease of late middle-aged geriatric animals.
Sure.
So it's kind of not on our radar
until later, because
Until
he's so
later.
young. But gosh, all right, listen, more to talk about. We have let's take a call before we go to the break. 737-7587. We'll squeeze in Scott before we go to the break. Scott, good morning.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good. What can we do for you, buddy?
Just a quick question. We have a 10-year-old Chihuahua. We believe was mistreated before we got her, and we would like to bring in a younger dog, or like rescue a dog, but a dog that would be a little bit bigger, like mid-sized dog maybe. And we're just wondering how would be the best way to bring those two together so that we don't have any real problems.
Well, how does
I
she...
have to listen. Thanks so much.
Thank you. I guess the first question is, how does she get along with dogs right now?
Yeah.
You know, if she gets along with other dogs without a problem, I don't think you're going to have a problem. If she's never been around dogs, then you might want to have, before you actually do the adoption, you might want to take your dog down to meet the prospective adoptee and see how they get along.
Right.
And then, I usually recommend introducing dogs outside of the home, on leashes, in the yard, so we're not really on, this person's territory or this dog's territory. Get kind of out of there and meet outside on leashes so that we can pull them apart if we need to. But, just slow. And then if you're concerned about them getting into scuffles, I don't really ever suggest leaving a dog or new dogs introduced to each other without leaving them alone by themselves.
Right.
Baby gates.
Someone watch. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You could bring her right if he already has the dog in mind, or you can just to find out one way or the other whether she responds to dogs positive. Go to a dog park and walk around with her on the leash and see how she interacts. Right. It is interesting. There are so many.
It's a Chihuahua.
I know.
It's
It's
a
small
little
little.
nervous to go to a dog park.
That's true. Just.
It's like snack time.
Yeah. It's. Well.
Look, it's a buffet.
It's a buffet, chomp.
Right.
Well, it's interesting the question he asks too about the different concerns you may have one way or the other, and I think it's wonderful when you go and adopt a dog, certainly from any of the shelters, but the ones that often end up there sometimes are from these animal rescues. And there's just another one recently. Did you see the one with the crazy dog fighting they had?
The ones that go through the animal rescues really and truly don't end up that much in the shelters. Those dogs are go to fosters.
Or Agape's where we got one of ours.
They really try to temperament test them and go through all that. Most of them, unless they come out of the temperament testing with flying colors, they don't usually end up like at the humane societies and the shelters, just because they need a little bit more personalized care.
Yes.
Because
they
have their issues, whatever they may be.
So if that's the case, because we always do stories on the rescues, and as I was going to say, most recently there was this one with these dogs fighting, and that's awful. And but people want to adopt these dogs after, especially they see these stories on the air. But you have to, special considerations. The thing is, the folks that do work with them do a terrific job of making sure that they're ready to be adopted if they can.
Absolutely.
Now, dogs that have been maybe involved in something along the lines of fighting, that's a whole different ball game. You remember the big story with Michael Vick's dogs and all that?
Michael Vick's dogs, I see.
Finally.
They're great. I think it's like 7 years later, and a lot of these dogs are in great homes with kids, and they're doing great. So it's just a matter of the individual dog and the care that's put into it.
Yeah, but
you're right. Everybody always wants to adopt, these animals out of these news stories that have been so big, and it's a lot, unless you're ready to deal with the possibility of a special needs dog, whether it be medically or behaviorally. It's typically a fairly big undertaking, and not done properly, the dog just gets worse.
Right.
And it doesn't serve the dog any good.
Right. Well, it's good to hear Scott at least inquiring on that. He has one, he's aware of it, and wants to make sure the transition. I think it's a good idea sometimes to get along to get a buddy for her.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to take a break. If you want to jump in, Alison Fields is going to be hanging with me till 9 o'clock. Sorry, you're not going anywhere.
No.
Unless you might have time to go to the restroom if you need to during this break.
Fast.
Yes, if you run really fast. But either way, she'll be back in time. Phone line's open, 737-7587. I know it's Monday. We're slow getting started. If you've got questions or comments about your pets, jump in. We'll be back with more right after this.
From the News Channel 5 Network, this is Spotlight on Business.
Mostly it was my asthma that I had a problem with, and we went all these years without doing anything about it.
Take a moment and listen to Tammy and Brett Peterson and hear how Mr. B's has made a big difference in their lives.
I can breathe again.
Brett was having horrible asthma problems.
I couldn't even breathe at night. I'd have to get up and come down here, and I'd sleep right there on the couch.
The Petersons didn't know it at the time, but their air ducts were filled with dust and construction debris. Step one was a thorough air duct cleaning the Mr. B's way.
Mr. and Miss Peterson both are tickled to death from what Mr. B's air duct cleaning has done just from the cleaning part. I mean, her husband was able to sleep in their room, which obviously for a family, they were very tickled about that.
Next, Mr. B brought in a portable air purification unit.
Each time he did something, it made more of a difference.
Then the Petersons opted for a whole home purification unit like this one.
We'll come in and within about a day, we'll have everything completed and it runs and you're just living in a cleaner environment.
It helped me so much, and it helped her a little bit, but it helped me so much that I was able to sleep at night. I was able to go to any room now. There's no dust around, and it was step by step, and we've just gone right to the extent of getting the whole house done, and it's been terrific.
And again, we're not changing his problem, we're just putting him in a cleaner environment.
The dust on the furniture, it's like minimal.
She didn't have to clean anymore. There's no dust there to clean. There's no dust to wipe off the potatoes.
I can tell a big difference.
Usually a woman will make the comments because she's the one doing the dusting and everything. But for a husband to say something, it's really quite a compliment.
Mr. B was wonderful to work with. He was great. So the only way I can describe it is I skied for years on Mount Hood, and that's what I feel like. I'm outside on the top of a mountain.
This week on Fishin' Affliction TV.
Oh, what a blow up! Oh, what a blow up!
Join Team Fishin' Affliction as they continue with this certified fan favorite, Part 2 of Gunnersville the Great.
He's on. Oh, he's on. He's still on this. Oh, what a blow up! It looked like somebody dropped a bowling ball in the water.
Your Fishin' Affliction TV weekend begins Saturdays at 5 p.m. right here on News Channel 5 Plus, your home for
Fishin' Affliction TV.
Interested in ways to save money on gas and transportation expenses?
Are you concerned about Middle Tennessee air quality and your family's health?
And we invite you to watch Air Care every Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock on News Channel 5 Plus with Williamson County Mayor Rogers Anderson and Debbie Henry,
along with transportation, energy, and environmental professionals.
Air Care every Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock.
Back on MorningLine, thanks for joining us on this Monday. I'm Nick Barris. This is Alison Fields. When she's done here today, she'll be going back to the office and performing not one, not two, but 3 surgeries. Not, however, simultaneously.
No.
No, but you will. I mean, you're busy and different things. You will be actually doing it all day, right? Different.
Not all day.
Spaying.
Get my surgeries done, then I get to have lunch, then I get to see appointments for the afternoon.
Busy. Well, it's good. So I like hearing this because it means people are taking care of their pets.
Yes.
And that's awesome. Anyway, if you want to jump in, questions about your pets, please do so. We've got some lines open, some folks waited through the break. Let's get back to it. We'll go to Tony. Tony, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I've got a question for the vet.
Sure.
I've got 2 cats, and it was probably a couple years ago. Well, we went and bought some Frontline for our cats, and we bought 1 application each, and it didn't work. So we went and waited till the next month, bought another application. It didn't work. So we washed it all off, changed brands. I called Frontline, and Frontline said they're not required by law to put expiration dates on their product. And I don't think that's fair, because if somebody don't sell enough product, how do you know what the shelf life of the product is?
Well, that's a good point. And the other thing about Frontline not working is, was it not working for